Who do you like more, Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton?
Well, I actually think that Bernie would be easier to beat, even though he shows up a little bit better in the polls, and I may be wrong, but what I do like about Bernie is that when he loses, because the system is rigged against him, totally, just like it was rigged against me. I mean, the system is rigged. And if I didn't win by massive landslides every state, there was no chance that I could have won. And he's sort of having the same thing, except she's got a different, kind of a deal. She's got superdelegates that were just handed to her. I don't know how.
Do you understand how that works? Because I don't.
Nobody understands it, but it's an unfair system. And I mean, I understand the bosses hand out delegates, and whoever gets the most, superdelegates has a good advantage. But it's unfair to him. I don't like what's happening, and I watch it. And we had it too, the Republicans, in a more sophisticated way, because the superdelegates are so obvious. The Republican system is also, and I think I came up with the word rigged, because I was going around 3-4 months ago screaming, this system's rigged, then I started winning by so much that it didn't matter whether or not it was rigged. It's sort of like the prize fighter. They go into the ring, and if they knock the guy out, it doesn't matter if the judges are fixed, right?
Yeah, right. If there's a brick in his glove, he's still on the ground.
I think it's very unfair what's happening to Bernie Sanders, actually, and it's a system that's not a good system.
I asked Bernie Sanders because he's going to be here tomorrow to ask a question. Okay. Have you met Bernie? Have you guys ever met before?
I've never really had the privilege.
I see. Okay, so here's the question from Bernie. He asked, Hillary Clinton backed out of an agreement to debate me in California before the June 7th primary.
Right.
Are you prepared to debate the major issues facing our largest state and the country before the California primary? Yes or no? He wants to know if you will debate him.
Yes, I am. How much is he going to pay me?
You would do it for a price? What would the price be?
Yeah, because if I debated him, we would have such high ratings, and I think I should take that money and give it to some worthy charity, okay?
So if it was done for charity, you would agree to do that?
If he paid a nice sum toward a charity, I would love to do that.
Oh, interesting. What if the network put up the money and then you guys came in?
That could happen also.
That could
happen. In fact,
happen?
I've been saying that should happen anyway. When we did the Republican debates, the Fox had 24 million people, the largest in the history of cable television. CNN, 3 weeks later, had 23 million people, the largest in the history of CNN. Think of it, CNN, with all the wars and all the things they cover, it's the largest audience they've ever had. The largest audience ever in cable was Fox a couple of weeks before. And I must say, I think I had a lot to do with that, okay? But I said, why aren't we getting paid for this? And give the money to charity. And I actually, as you know, I've been saying this for a long time. Get paid, give the money to charity, pick good charities, and give them money.
I feel like we had a very awkward handshake. I feel like we should do it over again. Right. Because, okay, there we go. All right. I think you've been hanging around with Killer Mike too much. How are you?
I'm great.
Everything's good?
Good.
You saw the show last night? You saw what I did for you?
You made it possible for us to have a very interesting debate.
That's right.
About two guys who look at the world very, very differently.
Oh, boy, do you guys look at it differently. That would be some debate. I mean, I really think it might be one of the highest-rated events in television history.
Well, I think the goal would be to have it in some big stadium here in California.
Yeah, well, that would be great. Have you heard from any of the networks? Has anyone contacted you?
Yeah, your network did.
ABC has contacted. They did.
Yeah, your boss contacted us. And
Which one, Bob Iger?
He said you're fired.
No.
I feel terrible having to tell you. He said, why are you doing this?
Well, that's probably good news, because I am available to be a running mate in case you or anyone knows. What do you think? I've already brought one Democrat and one Republican together, you and Donald Trump. I really feel like I can continue this in Congress.
You mean you're a bipartisan kind of guy?
Yes, I can build bridges. I don't build walls, I build bridges. Unnecessary bridges. You originally, I know, you were supposed to debate Hillary Clinton here in California.
Yeah, we had reached an agreement for a number of debates, including one in California. Unfortunately, and I think not appropriately, Secretary Clinton decided not to go forward.
She did. Do you understand why she did that? Does it make sense politically to kind of skip that debate?
No, it doesn't. And first of all, I think it's kind of insulting to the people of the largest state in the United States of America not to come forward and talk about the issues, serious issues that impact this state and impact the country. So disappointed that she chose not to go forward.
I have a clip I'd like to play for you just to get your reaction to it. Here we go.
You get into the general election if you're the nominee for your
I
party.
will be the nominee for my party, Chris. That is already done, in effect. There is no way that I won't be.
Does that make you mad seeing that?
Just a tinge arrogance there, I think. Unfortunately, the people of Indiana a couple of weeks ago, the people of West Virginia, the people of Oregon, who gave us a pretty good victory, don't quite agree with Secretary Clinton's assessment, and we split Kentucky. And I kind of think that on June 7th, people of California will have a message for Secretary Clinton. Don't count your chickens.
Do you feel like you have to just, not only do you have to win California, you feel like you have to win California by a lot?
Yeah, here's where we are. There's some confusion about this. In terms of what we call pledged delegates, which I call the real delegates that you win by elections, we're at 46%. So we're behind. That means that we're going to have to do really, really well in this state, where you have the most delegates up for grabs, and very well in the other 5 states that are coming up on June 7th. And there are 3 other non-states, Washington, D.C., and 2 others as well. We're going to have to do really, really well to win the majority of pledged delegates. In terms of superdelegates, we are way, way behind. There were 400 superdelegates who announced their support for Secretary Clinton before anyone else was in the race, before the first ballot was cast. And I think that's just patently absurd and undemocratic and kind of dumb, in the sense that when you make that judgment, you want to know how the campaign is going. Who is the strongest candidate? Turns out that in virtually every single national poll and in every single state poll, Bernie Sanders does often a lot better against Donald Trump than does Hillary Clinton. Just here in California, a poll came out yesterday. She was ahead of him by 10 points. We were ahead of him by 19 points. There was a national NBC poll, nationally. She was ahead, I think, 3 or 4 points. We were ahead 15 points. So I think if the Democrats want the candidate who is most likely to defeat Trump and beat him badly, I think you're looking at the guy.